Jungkook was sitting behind a large desk in his home office. The light from his computer screen was reflecting off his sharp features. His brows furrowed and his focus was on the video conference before him. The papers were scattered across the desk along with a few files and folders that seemed to carry the weight of the serious mafia business. Yes, proceed with the delivery as planned. Make sure everything is done quietly and without any mistakes this time. His voice was cold and commanding. Yes, boss, someone quickly replied from the other side. Jungkook's eyes narrowed as he looked at the camera. And keep a close watch on the border. I don't want anyone interfering with our plans. We have got men stationed there, boss. Everything is under control. Another man spoke while Jungkook gave a nod. It better be. I don't have time to clean up any more messes. As the man continued to talk, Jungkook's attention remained on the screen. His fingers tapped lightly on the desk, a sign that he was deep in thoughts. Just then, the door to his office opened quietly. You stood there in the doorway, feeling weak and in pain. Your period cramps were worse today, and you felt like you couldn't take it anymore. Normally, you didn't want to bother Jungkook when he was working, but today you needed him. Your stomach hurt and you felt like crying. At first, Jungkook didn't notice you because he was still talking to the man on his call. His voice was steady. If anything goes wrong, there will be consequences for everyone involved. You didn't listen to the rest of what he said. All you cared about was how much you needed his comfort right now. Slowly walked over to his desk, holding your stomach as the cramps made your body ache. When you reached him, you gently placed your hand on his shoulder. Jungkook immediately stopped talking and turned his head to look at you. The serious expression on his face softened when he saw the pain in your eyes. Without saying a word, he pressed the mute button on his call and turned his chair towards you. What's wrong, baby? He asked in a gentle tone. His voice broke the dam you have been holding up. You sniffled softly and without saying a word, you slipped your arms around his neck as you lowered yourself onto his lap. His arms wrapped around your waist, pulling you closer. His heart clenched as he felt how fragile you were in his arms. Why? What happened? Talk to me. Tears filled your eyes as you curled up against his chest. It's my period. I feel terrible today. I couldn't handle it alone. Your voice was shaking because your whole body was aching very bad. Jungkook's eyes filled with concern. He rested his hand on your lower back, rubbing small soothing circles. Why didn't you tell me sooner? He asked softly while his lips brushed against your forehead. I didn't want to disturb you. You mumbled, pressing your face into his neck. His scent and warmth made you feel a little better, but the pain was still there. He shook his head and kissed the top of your head. You are never a disturbance, Fayan. No matter how busy I am, if you are in pain, you come to me, okay? You nodded, feeling a bit of the tension in your body melt away as his arms held you close. Jungkook tilted your chin up gently, his dark eyes meeting yours. Do you want me to make you some tea or get you a heating pad? He asked, brushing your cheek softly with his thumb. You shook your head, holding him tighter. No, I just want you to hold me and can I have some kisses? Jungkook's lips curved into a small smile. Of course. He leaned in and kissed you softly. His lips were warm and gentle against yours. His kiss was slow, full of care, and exactly what you needed. The warmth of his lips seemed to ease some of your pain, and you sighed softly, relaxing in his arms. As you kissed him back, your arms wrapped around his neck, pulling him closer. Jungkook kissed you deeper, his hands gently holding your waist, keeping you steady on his lap. Each kiss was filled with love and you felt yourself start to relax more. He pulled back and looked at you while caressing your cheek gently. Feeling a little better? You nodded. A little, but don't stop. I need more. Jungkook chuckled lightly, leaning down to kiss you again. His lips trailed down to your neck. His kisses were gentle, slow and comforting. I'll keep kissing you as long as you need, he whispered, rubbing your back. You rested your head against his chest, feeling safe and comforted in his arms. He reached over and unmuted the call for a moment. His tone shifted back to the business mode. Finish up without me. I've got something more important to take care of, he said in a cold tone. Without waiting for a response, he ended the call and turned his attention to you completely. He looked concerned because your body was burning. Ryan, you are burning up. Do you have a fever? He said, placing his palm against your forehead, and he was right. It was burning. You shook your head weakly, leaning onto his chest. Your fingers clung to his shirt weakly, and you look pale now. No, I don't think so. It's just my body aches everywhere. The cramps are bad and everything hurts. Your voice trembled slightly as you spoke, the pain clear in your words. He carefully adjusted you in his arms and stood up, holding you as if you are the most precious thing in this world. Let's go to the bedroom. You're not well. But your meeting, I can wait. Before you could finish, he cut you off. No, meeting can wait. Nothing is more important to me than you, and right now you are the priority. He carried you towards the bedroom. His strong arms were wrapped around you securely, and you rested your head against his chest, feeling safe despite the pain. Jungkook pushed open the door to your shared bedroom with his foot and gently laid you down on the bed. You'll be alright, okay? I won't go anywhere until you feel better, okay? He said, softly brushing your hair out of your face as you curled up on the bed trying to get comfortable. Thank you, I love you so much. He smiled and placed a gentle kiss on your forehead. I love you too. Now I'll go and make some hot tea for you. You'll feel better. You nodded while he pulled the blanket over you before leaving to the kitchen. Even though Jungkook is a mafia boss feared by many, but never for once you regret falling in love with him. That moment he took an oath that he'll always keep you safe and happy, always make you feel cherished, and it's been 3 years of your marriage, but never for once his love for you decreased. You lay there in bed feeling exhausted and sore, but knowing Jungkook would make you feel better brought you some relief. A few moments later, he returned with a cup of tea in his hand. The steam rose from the cup and the familiar scent of chamomile filled the room. Here, he said, sitting down beside you and helping you to sit up just enough to take a sip. Drink this slowly. It will help calm your body. You took a sip and the warmth of the tea soothes your throat as you let out a small sigh. Thank you, you whispered, leaning back against the pillow. Jungkook set the cup aside and gently placed his hands on your legs, starting to massage them. His strong fingers worked carefully, pressing in just the right spots to ease the tension and soreness in your muscles. I know your legs must be hurting, he said quietly as he focused on making you feel more comfortable. You nodded, closing your eyes as you relaxed into his touch. They are, but it's getting better already, you said softly. Jungkook continued to massage your legs. His touch was firm but soothing. He took his time, making sure every part of you was cared for. You should have come to me earlier if it was this bad. Even I didn't realize. I didn't want to disturb you, but I couldn't able to hold back. My body gave up. Just don't do this from the next time, okay? Come to me immediately because nothing is more important to me than you. A weak smile appeared on your lips. His words were calming you, but this time the pain in your body was intense and unbearable. After a few minutes, he moved up to your lower back. His hands worked in slow circles to relieve the tension that had built up there from the cramps. "How's this?" he asked while his voice was calm and gentle. You let out a small sigh of relief. "It's really helping. I feel a little better now." Jungkook smiled softly, leaning down to press a kiss to your temple. "Good. I'm not stopping until you feel completely better." He then shifted, sitting up on the bed next to you, his hands gently massaging your head now. His fingers worked through your hair and his touch was tender as he focused on easing the headache that had been bothering you since the morning. As his fingers worked their magic, you couldn't help but smile. "You're really good at this, you know that?" You teased lightly, feeling the pain slowly melt away. Jungkook chuckled softly. "I have had some practice. I'm the husband of the most beautiful woman in this world. It's my job to know how to take care of her," he said, continuing to massage your head. You laughed softly, your heart felt warm at his words. "You really know how to make me feel better," you murmured while your voice was full of affection. He leaned down, kissing your forehead once again. "That's because I love you, and I hate seeing you in pain," he said quietly, his eyes full of warmth as he looked at you. You smiled softly. "I'm so lucky to have you as my husband. Marrying you was the best decision of my life," he smiled. "And mine too. Thank you for giving me this beautiful life," as you sit there in silence where he was still massaging you because he knows how the cramps really breaks you. Jungkook continued to gently massage your lower back. His touch was soothing and comforting. As the minutes passed, he noticed that your breathing started to slow, becoming deeper and more relaxed. He felt the tension in your body easing and a small smile crept onto his lips. You were finally resting. He looked down and realized that you had already drifted off to sleep. Your body was fully relaxed under his care. Your lips were slightly parted and your face looked peaceful, and the soft rise and fall of your chest showed how deeply you fell asleep. Jungkook couldn't help but to smile. His heart was swelling with love. He leaned down and pressed a kiss to your forehead as his lips stayed there for a moment longer than usual. "You are so precious, love," he whispered, careful not to wake you. Then he gently adjusted the blanket around you, making sure you were tucked in properly. Your body had curled slightly on its side, and Jungkook carefully shifted your position so that you were more comfortable. He placed a pillow under your legs, knowing it would help ease the cramps even more. After making sure everything was perfect, he sat back down beside you, brushing a few strands of hair away from your face. He watched you for a moment and his chest tightened with emotion. There was something so peaceful about the way you slept, but it also made him feel protective. You were so strong, but right now you look so fragile. Jungkook let out a quiet sigh, resting his hand on your arm as he spoke softly to your sleeping figure. "You know, Wayne, you are everything to me. I can't even put into words how much you mean to me." His voice was low, almost a whisper. "I know I don't always show it the way I should. Sometimes I get caught up in work, in this dangerous world I'm a part of. But you bring me back. You remind me that there's more to life than just power and control. You give me a reason to be better." He paused as his fingers tracing gentle circles on your arm. "When I see you in pain like this, it kills me. I hate it. I wish I could take it all away. Make sure you never had to feel anything like this again. But I'm here. And I'll always be here, doing whatever I can to make things better." His eyes softened as he watched you sleep peacefully, completely unaware of the deep emotions stirring inside him. "I never thought I would have a life like this, with someone like you. You make me feel human. You make me feel like I'm more than just a mafia boss. You have given me a family, a home, something to fight for." Jungkook's voice wavered slightly as he leaned down again, brushing his lips at your temple. "You'll never know how much I love you, how much I owe you for everything you have brought into my life. I'm so lucky you chose me. He stayed there for a few more moments just watching you. His heart was full of emotions he rarely allowed himself to express. I'll protect you, Ryan, always, from everything, even myself if I have to. You'll never have to go through anything alone, I promise. While he was busy admiring you, you moved a little, still half asleep, and without opening your eyes, you gently put your leg over his, pulling yourself closer to him. Your arms wrapped around his waist, and you rested your face against his chest. Jungkook smiled, a quiet laugh escaping him. He looked down at you, his heart felt full as he saw how cute and small you looked, holding on to him like he was your lifeline. You're holding on to me like I'm going to run away. He teased gently, brushing a few strands of hair from your face, but even in your sleepy state, you responded. Because you're too comfy, I'm not letting you go anywhere. Your voice was soft, almost childlike, and Jungkook's smile grew wider. Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay right here with you, he replied, kissing her forehead gently. You stared a little, opening your eyes halfway and looking up at him. Promise? Jungkook nodded, his gaze was soft and full of affection. I promise, I'm not leaving, not even for a second. You smiled, snuggling closer into his chest, your legs still resting over him. Good, because I need you right now. You always make me feel better. He rubbed your back slowly as his touch was gentle and soothing. That's my job, isn't it, to take care of you? You nodded sleepily. You were the best at it. You murmured, your voice filled with warmth. Jungkook chuckled, I better be, with how much you need cuddles. You giggled softly, your eyes closed again as you relaxed against him. Cuddles from you are the best. He watched you for a moment, feeling his heart swell with love. You looked so peaceful, so happy just being close to him, and it made him feel like he's the luckiest man in the world. Are you planning to look at me like this the whole night? You said, still closing your eyes while he chuckled softly. Do you know how cute you are when you are like this? You mumbled something in response, too sleepy to properly answer, but Jungkook smiled anyway. You are like a little kitten, all curled up and snuggly. He teased, gently pinching your cheek. You groaned softly, trying to push his hand away but barely managing. Stop teasing me. Jungkook laughed quietly, but his voice softened. Alright, I'll stop, but are you feeling better now? You nodded, snuggling closer to him. Yes, I'm feeling much better, and all thanks to you. You're the best husband, and I love you. He kissed your forehead again. His lips stayed there for a moment as he whispered, I love you too, Ryan, more than anything. As you fell completely asleep, Jungkook stayed there, holding you close and feeling your calm breathing against his chest. He gently tightened his arms around you, still smiling. I'll always be here, no matter what. You mean everything to me. With that, Jungkook closed his eyes, happy to stay in this moment with you, his precious wife forever.